I'm back, baby. Or like making babies. This is the humor you came here for. For my return, I had one special task. Cover one ship so requested that I had to rev up the baby making engines for a whole ass volume 2 of Pro Hero Babies. And while we're at it, why not make some more sets of biologically impossible, morally questionable kids and ships? My favorite. So let's start out our pro tour with an odd couple. It's our rescue hero pairing of SEAL superstar Selkie with astronaut all-star 13. Selkie is sort of like Spider-Man, but with SEALs. He does whatever a SEAL can, which includes being strong, holding your breath, and echolocation, which is totally something a SEAL does, and I did not just make up to keep my simile intact. So now we'll combine that with 13's ability to create an all-consuming black hole that vaporizes anything trapped inside. Okay, so we have a mutation quirk splicing with an emitter quirk. We'll start by looking somewhere in the middle. I'm seeing some sort of astral space seal? Yeah, like some cool star seal with an old-timey diving equipment look. So because 13 can only create black holes through the tips of their fingers, this seal kid can only do so through their mouth. Maybe only underwater? Let's call their quirk Whirlpool. Maybe they still atomize anything they drain? If so, this hero could solve the whole sea level rising problem by just annihilating huge swaths of water with their quirk. Or, you know, drain a pool to save someone from drowning. I feel like they'd fall in line with their rescue hero parents pretty well. But why does this quirk only work underwater? It's the seal thing because, you know, seals and their okay, maybe there's no special reason that it has to be used underwater, but having a seal body would probably leave this hero feeling more comfortable in the water, right? Now, that's a pretty powerful quirk, but if they're not so lucky, maybe these quirks aren't as compatible as we're hoping, and our poor astral seal can only generate enough force with their whirlpool to rescue someone from a slightly clogged drain. But it's okay, they sound like they have an exciting career as a super plumber. These jobs still need doing even in this super society. Okay, now for round 2, let's try not safe for work hero Midnight with Aizawa's eternal tormentor, Miss Joke. All right, 2 emitter quirks this time. This will be easy, trust me. We're pretty familiar with Midnight's quirk, right? She emits a gaseous pink aura from her skin that can put people to sleep if they breathe it in, and is especially effective on men. While we've never seen Miss Joke's quirk in action, Deku's notes tell us that it has the power to make people laugh uncontrollably, inhibiting their motor skills. Now, I imagine that a combo here is pretty obvious, right? It's gotta be a Joker-style laughing gas type of thing. This hero could incapacitate a large area of foes. All villains gotta do is breathe, and they're suddenly doubled over laughing. Now, that's fine, but let's also consider the aspect from Midnight's power that makes it more effective on men. Maybe this hero's power is more effective on grim or angsty people and less effective on someone who's more confident or jovial. A power like this would be a critical hit on Eraserhead, but probably totally ineffective on someone like Present Mic. But if they're not cut out for the hero life, maybe their quirk manifests from the opposite angle. Maybe they have the power to put someone to sleep by telling them a joke? This weaker version of the quirk would probably be called your friend that does improv. You missed these jokes, didn't you? I'm good at them. Next up is the Duke of Denim, Best Jeanist, and Red Ranger for the Wild Wild Pussycats, Mandalay. They both have emitter quirks, but they're very, very different. Best Jeanist we know pretty well, right? Fiber Master has control over textiles, and certain types of fabric are easier to manipulate than others. Got it. Mandalay's Telepath is also simple enough, but operates on a totally different playing field. She can use Telepath to project her thoughts directly into other people's brains and can send them to a bunch of people at once over a pretty long range. But she can't receive any thoughts from people. It's like a one-way mental telephone. Like my love life. I'm not sad. So what's the overlap? It's a little strange, but I think I can make it happen. What if this Denim Cat kid can project their thoughts like a psychic ball of yarn and then manipulate it to entangle people? Before you head to the comments to tell me what a stretch that is, let me throw a little Harry Potter reference at you. Remember how Dumbledore could extract memories in the form of long silvery threads? Maybe this quirk is similar. If this baby used their quirk on me, they'd have no trouble wrapping me up in all my regrets about the game of Smash I just lost to Adrian. Or hobbling me with my own guilt about not calling my mom enough. I'm sorry, Mom. I could see this hero working to subdue villains, yeah, but I could also see them as a sort of therapy or medical assistance hero, you know? By calming emotions or helping people untangle what they're feeling like a ball of yarn. See? It all comes together. That's some top-notch hero branding, folks. But for a weaker version of this one, maybe they can only project their thoughts into clothing? How about a message you can only hear if you put your clothing on? Like my sweatpants would be like, again, Kurt, you gotta wear real pants sometime, And I don't appreciate the back talk, denim jeans. Whatever the case, it won't be very effective for heroic operations, but maybe they have a future as a telepathic fashion designer? I'm just saying. Like a Tyra Banks in the Quirk world. I don't know how that would work. Imagine, what's it, America's next top model, but with quirks? That's a thought, I'd watch that. Now onto a sharpshooter ship with 2 gun heroes. We have the bullet blasting beefcake Gunhead with firefighter backdraft. First, we have Gunhead's sorta upsetting mutation quirk that grants, and I'm quoting from the wiki here, gun-like organs in his arms that can shoot claw-like objects made of keratin. Is that really what he does?
It's kinda gross.
Yeah.
If you really think about it.
Yikes. Now we have to combine that with Backdraft's hydrokinesis and fire hose style growths that replace his arms. But before we get into it, I personally want to state this for the record. These heroes' quirks are absolutely disgusting. Time to figure out what kind of super gross quirk their kid will have though. Now the thing that immediately jumps out to me is some sort of water cannon type hero. Maybe they even have transparent plastic growths. Ew. That look like those little water pistols you can find at the dollar store. Now that just sounds like a small tweak on Backdraft, so let's put a little more Gunhead into the recipe. They can shoot high pressure water bullets or can shred folks with a steady stream like a power washer. This hero feels less like a firefighter and more like a combat hero. They could help other pro heroes with suppressive fire, or water, with really intense water pressure to keep them from moving. That is, of course, if they're actually strong. They could just be a piddly little squirt gun hero, and it's probably not actually water like Backdraft, but some gross Gunhead-esque body fluid like a sweat pistol or a tear gun. Again, ew. All right. I think we've made you wait long enough. A perfect combination like salty and sweet. It's Eraserhead and Present Mic. Hold your applause. As we know, Eraserhead can temporarily shut off someone's quirk by looking at them, and Present Mic can enhance the volume and pitch of his voice to intense levels. Let's start brewing on this power couple's coupled power. I'm gonna start this off with a mini science lesson about noise canceling. When 2 sounds with perfectly opposite waveforms encounter each other, they completely cancel each other out. I think that's a cool place to start for this noise canceling hero. Sponsored by Bose. We're not actually sponsored by Bose. I'm not allowed to say that. But Bose. Eraserhead is more targeted with his quirk, so I think our experiment should be here too. I'm thinking a targeted controlled deafness by canceling out selective sounds. So in heroic operations, they and their team can hear everything, while their foes are left totally unable to hear and unable to coordinate. They could probably also work well in disaster scenarios, drowning out specific sounds so that important instructions can be heard over them. But if we want to look at a weaker version, I'm seeing someone that can erase someone's quirk if they hear them screaming. Now in the shonen anime world they live in, this actually probably isn't much of a problem since everyone's yelling all the time about everything. But in a real world where that doesn't happen, not as often anyway, it probably won't take long for their enemies to just keep their plans on the DL and beat this kid down in silence. Our last baby comes right from the comments, so if you want to see your baby in our next video, leave it for us below. We'll take really good care of it. At least Adrian will. Well, unless it's Obligatory Stories baby, which they have named Hellraiser. It's a little too scary for me. This baby has 2 powerful daddies. Number 1 hero, All Might, and world's worst dad, Endeavor. All about scarring our children, apparently. So there's 2 things about making All Might babies. One is we know that One for All isn't passed down genetically, but we'll put that aside for now. Always gotta make that clear because y'all be yelling at me at the comments and I am very sensitive. The other is that any quirk combined with One for All is just a beefed up version of the original quirk, but commenter Obligatory Story understood that, thank you, and leaned in. This baby is really strong, like really strong. Like Dad Endeavor, this baby has pyromancy skills, and like All Might, it's pretty much pyromancy on steroids. Sure, they can control fire, but this is All Might's kid, so their flames burn the hottest and strongest of all pyro heroes. In fact, these flames burn so hot that according to the commenter, they contribute to global warming. Damn. Okay. I can only hope that there's some sort of ozone layer hero out there who can save us all from destruction. Not only that, when baby Hellraiser goes plus ultra, they vaporize everything around them. I already feel bad for this baby's parents, but since they're Endeavor and All Might, they're at least strong enough to keep the baby on a slow burn. Get it? I hope though. For all our sakes. I'm Kurt, and if you like these babies, subscribe. This is GetintheRobot, made in NYC, because we can't move to Japan.